I was influenced by a spirit of patriotism because I was in high school in 1941, December 7th, so there was then this overwhelming spirit of patriotism to enlist and to do whatever one was able to do to win this conflict.
Yes, I was in during the Korean War, 1951, 2 and 3, and I was in the 82nd Airborne Division.
I was drafted in 1943 in January and was drafted into the Army Air Corps at the time, and spent most of my time in Europe, in England and later on in France.
I served in the Marine Corps from November of '43 to May of 1946. And during that time I served in the Pacific as a participant in the invasion and occupation of the island of Iwo Jima, and also was into occupation of Japan and spent 6 months in Nagasaki in occupation duty there. So that's basically my military career here.
I was quite fortunate in my time in the service. I spent 28 months overseas, but I never got into any actually combat or anything.
The 82nd did not go overseas. There was only one airborne unit in Korea. It was the 187 from the 11th Airborne in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And they actually made 3 parachute jumps over there.
You gain an appreciation for life. You begin to question, why wasn't I one of the casualties? And you feel that there has to be something more to life. And I think when you see the destruction and so on in warfare and in that kind of a situation, you evaluate life, I guess.
It was quite an experience. It was nice all day long, and so very well organized. It's hard to believe.
It was so enjoyable, and it was also so emotional in many ways. I found that visiting some of the old sites, the memorials and so on, created some interesting memories. And of course, in the process, the extension of welcome on the part of so many different people. There were people who were visiting, and they said they thanked us for our service. There were individuals who were serving in military capacity, and they saluted us when we came in. The band welcomed us. We had police escorts taking our buses and taking us from one memorial to another. I can't think of a thing that wasn't covered.
Well, it brought back quite a few memories and so on. I was over there at the time that we had D-Day, and I remember the day of D-Day. I was on a B-17 air base, and just a steady hum all morning long, all day long actually. They'd go over with a load of bombs and come right back and reload and go back again. So that was a big part of my D-Day, was the fact that I was over there, and of course we got the news later in the day, but we didn't know what was going on other than that. The big thing to me was the mail call that they brought on with a big envelope that all my relatives and kids had made up. That was a big surprise. In fact, I was glad I was alone when I read them up, because it kind of got to me.
I think what moved me the most was the respect that was shown to us. I felt that it was kind of a nation saying thank you, and this was giving them an opportunity to say thanks to us. I think the nation needed that, and can use it, and needs to say thanks, because they haven't always had that in their history. But I think that they need the opportunity, and this affords them the opportunity, and it also gives the veterans an opportunity to receive an expression of gratitude for the sacrifices and the risks and so on that they had taken.
I had never been to Arlington before. I'd been through Washington during the Korean War 3 or 4 times. But I was always interested in history, so the thought that Arlington is really General Lee's property from Civil War, and I've always been interested in the Civil War.
I had an experience at the Air Force Memorial where there were a group of middle school children, and all wearing red jackets, and I asked them, I said, where are you from the area here? And they said, no, we're from Huntington Beach, California. And I said, Huntington Beach? You know, I trained at Camp Pendleton, and I used to go swimming at Huntington Beach. So I said, it's great, and when you get back, you tell them that you met an old ex-Marine that did some training at Huntington Beach.
If they say they've been to see the memorials at one time or another and realize that there's plenty of things to see, they probably never saw it all. If they get a chance, they should go back on it.
I felt it was a real privilege to go on it, and I can't imagine anyone not having a good experience going. If anyone had some doubts or reservations, I think those would be overcome. I know there are some who say they don't deserve it. I think any veteran who has served in the military doesn't have had to have had a combat experience, but anyone who has served and is eligible should take advantage of the opportunity.
My advice would be, don't miss it. If you have a chance to go, for sure you ought to go.